Hello, I'm Siqaiyuk. I thought it'd be fun to share the process I did of creating the overlay for my next major series, which is going to be 1001 Nights. I screen recorded my drawing process on my iPad using Procreate and I sped it up so we can go through. I took a different overlay and changed the background colors. I'm choosing, yeah, going with a purple blue color scheme. I'm drinking some coffee. I gave my new coffee mug that I made, and I made a short about it. I gave it to my husband for him to use for coffee because he needed a new coffee cup. I'm creating an ovoid eye in the bottom left corner. And I'm using drawing assist to make this both halves even. At some point, I want to get one of those artist gloves that make it to where you don't accidentally touch the screen with your hand when you're drawing. That's very annoying. Now I'm making the background glow using Gaussian blur. I did the same with my name that happened so fast. And I'm using a reference image to see what vibe I'm trying to get. Something similar to that. Because it's a Arabic, Middle Eastern, Southeast Asian storyline, I believe. So I was gonna try to make it even using that, but realized that's not gonna work on both sides of the image. When I zoom out, there we go. I can see both sides. Now after doing the solid white shape of the buildings, I'm now going around the outside, making it more of a form line design. Altogether, this took me about 3 hours over the course of 3 days. All of the redoing it until I felt like it was good enough to keep. See, I'm going through several different designs. I'm very excited about this new upcoming project. About my only knowledge of 1001 Nights is that Aladdin was based off one of the stories in it, and I believe the overarching goal of the story was to teach the king who was really upset that he was cheated on and would have a wife for one night then kill her, that finally a smart woman would tell stories every night and leave it on like a cliffhanger, And by the end of all of the stories, which was 1,001 Nights, some of the stories, I'm just going off an assumption here, some of the stories were positive, some of them were negative, and where the men showed uh, generosity and forgiveness to women, they lived. The men in the stories who didn't, who were harsh and cruel, they ended up dying. And after all of those stories and getting to know her personality, the king finally decides that I'm over my anger against women, and I will stop killing and I fall in love with you. I think that's the overall story. I'm using one of the older translations, and I believe that they also, I think it's more of a NC 14 or whatever, not rated translations of the book I have downloaded. So yeah, so I decided to redo it. I didn't like what I had going on, and see me using the tools a little bit better on Procreate, using that as a reference image. Turning it into a form line design. Or there's way too much detail for my overlay. If you happen to hear any noise in the background, my kids are awake and vibing in the living room. I'm in my studio area, one corner of my bedroom. I thought it was too cartoonish with the two eyes, and then the first set with the lines looked a little bit like um, oh, Starbucks. Here we go. This is so much nicer watching it play back at like times 12. And we're being early morning before work creating this before going to work. So now that I have the base layer done, I'm now using it to create an animated layer. Doing one section at a time, making it to where I have to save each frame as it blinks, and it will create a animated layer. There we go. Sped up. And then to make each section blink at the same time, go around. It's cool seeing the different sections of the layer start to blink. I must have got up to go to the bathroom or something. A long pause. Yeah, if you haven't seen, I have a playlist of Alaska Native stories that I have rewritten in my own words. And I fully intend on creating a playlist just for 1001 Nights. This is going to be a long-term project. Each night is going to be roughly one video. And in Procreate, I have the base background layer, and then I have it set to animate with 6 frames per second. So when you're watching this at normal speed, my red background here is the same thing. I have it animated at 6 frames per second to create the blinking animation. Now this one will have a blinking animation. I'm checking it out, and I'm adding enough blink background images so there's at least 5 to 6 seconds between each blink. I don't want it to be too often. Now I'm adding more because I feel like it's a little too fast. I have it to where it's just enough to be an interest. And then here I am saving it to my Google Drive. I think this is almost done. Yeah, and then I downloaded it onto my computer. Here's my background image on my iPad. So that is where I'm at, and I'm going to download the 2 digital versions of the book because I have one version and it will be what I read from, and then the second one, I saw that there's a lot of footnotes, so that when I read one section, I'll then read the footnotes at the end of the video on a separate second digital book. Please like and subscribe. Please like my video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching my video all the way to the end. It truly supports my creative endeavors on the YouTube algorithm. For those of you who want to support me more directly, please consider buying my artwork and creations from Etsy and digital books and short stories from Smashwords, many of which are free. For anyone who wants to support me in becoming a full-time artist and content creator, please become a Patreon supporter of mine. Thank you for considering it. Links, as always, in the description. Keep it indigenous. Quiana and Siqaiyuk. Thank you.